Hi, I'm Hannah, and this is my daughter, Saoirse. Last week we were really missing our family, of course, in England and Ireland, and they did a clap for the National Health Service, and we decided to join them. So we went on our balcony in Bahrain at 11 o'clock at night, which tied up with the time in the UK, which was 8 o'clock. And we clapped for the NHS in England and Ireland. We were on an empty street in Bahrain, clapping and cheering on our own. And we looked around and we realised that this is something that we should be doing in Bahrain too. You know, the carers in Bahrain. I'm not an expert on this. I can only speak from the way we feel and from our personal experience, but I feel very safe, very protected here in Bahrain. I think that the kingdom and the Ministry of Health and the doctors and GPs and carers and nurses have done such an amazing job at keeping us safe. Bahrain's not immune to it, and yet we're managing to keep the numbers low, and that's because people are there on the front line protecting us. That's because doctors are in hospitals looking after patients. Saoirse was checked at the airport when she arrived back from Italy. She was on a school trip in Italy. And there were people there at the airport testing her. It took 7.5 hours. They were so on top of it. They were so ahead of it. That was 4 weeks ago. Saoirse, I'll let Saoirse tell you about her experience, which has really motivated her in this as well.
Well, I was in Italy on a school trip during the half term. We were actually in the red zone in the north. Then we realised how bad it was. Flights from Dubai were being cancelled into Bahrain. So we left early, 2 days early. We missed 2 or 3 days of skiing. And we went through Istanbul. And as soon as we got back to Bahrain, we were tested in the big tent by all the doctors. We were one of the first batch to come through Bahrain and get tested. So we landed at midnight to 1 o'clock. And we finished, we came through at 8 a.m. and it took a while.
And all those, that's the front line. Even at the airport, there's a team of people at the airport protecting us. You know, it was a terrifying experience for Saoirse, and it was terrifying for us as parents. And at the time you feel all this anger and you feel like, where's my child? Why aren't you, no one's telling me where my child is. And then 7.5 hours later, your child appears looking terrified and looking tired. But then the next day she tells you the story of how she was treated with such kindness, how people swabbed her, helped her to stay positive, explained what was happening, and tested her so early. We're so lucky that Bahrain started doing that so early. And now we've got people being cared for in hospitals. Our active cases are rising. This is a virus that will spread. We're not immune to this virus. The Kingdom of Bahrain and the Ministry of Health are doing everything that they can do to protect us, but we have to be part of that, and we can see that from all over the world. I don't think that this is a time to kind of relax and think, oh no, we're okay in Bahrain, it's not really spreading, we've not had that many deaths. Every death is a tragedy to a family, and we want to avoid it. But also, this virus will spread, and we have to help prevent that. And by clapping for Bahrain, we're clapping for the carers, for the doctors, for the nurses, for the GPs, and we're letting them know that we really appreciate it and thank you so much, and hopefully giving them a boost and a little bit of positivity in this really horrible time, even if they just feel good for 1 minute, even if we touch one person by this, even if one person feels like they can't keep going and they carry on and keep saving lives for us, then that would be amazing. But also it's a double message, because by staying indoors, don't clap outside, clap in your garden, don't meet up with friends and do it, clap with your household, clap in your garden, clap on your balcony, clap through your windows, clap in your living room. You don't have to be seen, it doesn't matter. But by doing that, we're also letting those carers know that they've got our back and we're doing our best. We are here doing this interview. We've been invited to do this interview, but we are practicing our social distancing measures. We haven't greeted each other by hugs or handshakes. We've kept our distance. We're staying our 2 meters apart. We're in a group of 4, we're less than the than the recommended group of 5. We're doing this interview and then we're going straight home. You know, we are staying indoors. This is the first time we've been out
For 4 weeks.
You know, we are staying indoors and we encourage everybody else to stay indoors. I have a very close friend right now in Bergamo in Italy, and she's messaging me all the time. We're on the phone a lot. We didn't used to be. Suddenly now she's on the phone all the time. And she's been on the radio a lot, to Radio Island from Bergamo. She's now doing a lot of interviews from her living room in Bergamo and begging people to stay at home. Even in places like Bahrain, where you think we're not affected that badly, this virus spreads, and it spreads very, very quickly. And to support our carers, we have to slow down that spread. We have to stay away from other people, don't have that contact. One person can spread this to thousands.
And by social distancing, and you're saving lives by leaving beds in the hospitals free, and by you may not be affected by it if you do get it. You might not be very sick, but you could save other people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. There's limited beds. We can see that in Italy. We've seen it all over the world. There's limited beds. And by staying indoors, we're avoiding those beds getting full. A lot of people don't understand what a difference it makes to stay indoors. We're preventing car accidents. We're preventing injuries that can occur outside the home that are not even coronavirus related. But it means that there's less people going to the hospitals, and more beds are there, and more doctors are there, and more carers are there, and nurses to look after the people that are going to need it at this really difficult time.